Hey guys, good video for you today. I've got Jeff Henderson, who has a Substack called Michael Jordan 623 Project. He's coming on to join the channel. Jeff's been on the channel a couple times before. We're going to talk about this peak. And people are saying, we don't know where the peak is. We don't know when the peak's happening. Yes, we do. And Jeff's going to give you all the evidence you need. We have seen it. It has come. It has gone on Michael Jordan hierarchy. PSA 10 inserts and parallels. The peak has come and it has gone. We're going to give you all the proof that you need today on this video. For better or worse, I'm a truth teller. That's what I'm telling you right now. It's going to be some really cool data. Jeff does all of the research for us. He's going to share that data. We've got screen share. You'll see the types of cards that broke records in October and then have sold again in November for significantly less than those records from October and September. Then we're going to talk about generally about the PSA scandal recently, very briefly about the PSA scandal, the bait and switch, PSA 9, PSA 10 deal that went back and forth, and kind of talk through that and some potential explanations for it. And then we're going to talk about, Jeff does another Substack article, and again, I'm going to give you a link to where if you want more information about Michael Jordan cards and the research that Jeff does, it's real easy. Go to the link in this YouTube description, and you can subscribe there. I don't think it costs very much, but he does a great deal of research, and it's a great asset. He did a Substack, an article on the PSA 8 Michael Jordan cards that have the fewest graded higher. That's a weapon, guys. If you're looking to buy Michael Jordan cards on a budget and you want to buy the best bang for your buck, you don't have to have PSA 10s at the peak or near the peak. If you want to buy PSA 8s, don't you think it's important to start with the PSA 8s that have the fewest PSA 9s and PSA 10s? Of course, it's a no-brainer. He does all the research for you. He provides those pop reports. We look at some of the PSA 8 cards in his Substack article that he thinks may be the best buy right now. These are cards where when you list a card on Instagram, if you say it's a PSA 8, but there's only 9 higher graded, well, that resonates. That makes me think, damn, this card is either really condition sensitive or a lot more rare than people realize. And those are the types of arbitrage opportunities that investors like to use. And so we talk a little bit about that as well. And then I'm also going to share with you, I think it's 96 cards, all Michael Jordan cards. The vast majority are gem mint. I'd say 90 out of the 96 are gem mint. They're all for sale right now. These are cards that I opted not to put into the Fanatics Weekly auction. If you follow my channel, you know I've sold 1,000 Michael Jordan cards on Fanatics Weekly this year. These are the cards that I decided not to put into the Fanatics Weekly auction. I decided to sell them Fanatics Buy Now or private sale to you guys. Check these 96 cards out. Some of these may be the piece that you're looking for to complete your collection or to take the next step forward. There's no trash in here. These are all pretty good cards. These are really good cards. I'm not selling during December. That's just me. That's just my habits. I am going to hold off, and these cards may go into a Fanatics Weekly auction, maybe in Q2 of 2026. But for right now, I'm being patient, trying to sell these things privately or on Fanatics Buy Now for the price that I need to get for these cards. Hopefully you guys can find some cards in this list. I'm gonna show every single one of these cards. So if anything, stay tuned till the end of the video because it's a great eye candy. We whipped through 96 Michael Jordan hierarchy cards. It's really gonna be fun. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy this video. And again, don't forget to subscribe to that Substack and give Jeff a few bucks. It's worth it to get the research that he provides in these Substack articles. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. If you've got a bunch of unwanted inventory that you've been sitting on for days, weeks, months, years, ship it to Fanatics Marketplace and let them do all the work. Just make sure when you ship it, you use the promotional code Cajun, all capital letters, C-A-J-U-N. Hey guys, Bryan with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and excited to talk Jordans. It's been a while. I've been investing and spreading my seed elsewhere lately. Having an affair on Michael Jordan cards, buying some Giannis stuff, buying some, believe it or not, some
coaching Michigan
stuff.
too?
Huh?
Were you coaching in Michigan too?
No, I was not coaching in Michigan. No, but I've heard it. I don't even give a damn about college football, but even I heard about that. It doesn't sound good. But I've got Jeff Henderson back on the channel, the founder, the creator of Michael Jordan 623 Project. This is a Substack that you guys can join. There will be a link to get directly to Jeff's Substack and subscribe in the description to this YouTube video. And this is his Substack. I guess, is it release number 17? I don't even know what you would call it. Article number 17. Tell me about it. Tell me about what it pertains to and what we're going to talk about today, Jeff.
Yeah, I just thought we'd do a quick. What? My browser just kicked me off. You can still hear me, okay?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
That out. Yeah. We're gonna talk about. Oh, now I get my. You can see my ugly garage here.
Yeah, you're in a dungeon.
We're gonna talk about a little where are they now. So I looked at all of the record-breaking Jordan PSA 10s in particular.
Yep.
From September and October, so like right after the national, right when things went a little bit crazy.
Okay.
And then for those that sold again in November, did like a little where are they now, right? So
okay.
I know you've talked a little bit about some of these cluster, like your Cajun cluster copyright. Yep. You got to get the copyright in there. Get a third C.
Copyright Cajun cluster. C.
Love it. Yeah, so I thought that'd be fun, and then just kind of go through that. And basically, what I found is pretty much all of the cards that set a record during those 2 months dropped back, and that sold again in November. So we can go through those, and I bookmarked a couple that were just a little bit interesting to me to look at. And then I've also been up to kind of going through this little this list. I think I started a few episodes or a few posts back where I'm going through the 299 cards that in PSA 8 with the fewest graded higher. So just kind of like looking at it for a little zag for people that that might want to collect intelligently. You don't have to use it for everything. Obviously, you want to buy what you like, right? But you can use that as kind of a guide. So I've been going through that, and I believe my last one of that posted this week, if not next week. I think it was this week, though. Okay. Yeah, that's been a fun little project.
So let's just wrap it all up and put a bow on it. You think the peak is behind us as far as it pertains to Jordan hierarchy type 90s inserts and parallels in PSA 10 grade. You would think that more often than not, the next sale will not be as high as a September, October, maybe even early November sale, if there is one.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. Now, that doesn't mean there's not cards breaking records, right? Like there's plenty of cards that didn't sell in that window that are breaking records.
Absolutely.
I think it might even be this one. I'm already losing track of what I put in these posts because I've got one scheduled up here, but I do go through like the November records as well that I was able to find.
So just looking at some of these, these are big cards, man. These are big cards with low pop rates in PSA 10. Oftentimes they're going to have paltry single digit gem rates, if not sub 5% gem rates. Some of the biggest and the baddest, like most recognizable, most in demand. You're talking about Natural Born Thrillers. Looks like it took the biggest hit of all the cards that you looked at dollar volume wise, right? This is not a percentage perspective, but it's just sorting top to bottom. It looks like these are sorted from the ones that went down the most between a September, October all-time record and then a subsequent November sale. Skybox Natural Born Thrillers down 3,600. You're going to see some of these cards in here more than once. This one really kind of stood out to me because when this sale happened, the 95 Ultra Gold Medallion, Jeff, that's a lot of money for a card that is not rare at all. It is very rare in a PSA 10. I get all of that, but damn, man, $13,200 can do a lot of damage in the card market, in the Michael Jordan card market even. Down 2,700.
The Natural Born Thrillers too, I've got up here. It looks like there was a sale on the 29th that wasn't captured in here. I think I ran this right before that for 11,590. So it dropped even a little bit more.
Let's see. We can always pull it up in Card Ladder.
Yeah.
Let's pull it up. Card Ladder, affiliate partner of Cajun Cardboard. Well, that's undeniable. Look, this is the last 2 years, but let's make it easier. There's the last 6 months. And so it was, building to a crescendo here. It looks like it got to an all-time high of 16,800, which is exactly what you have right here on your chart. And then if we look at what's happened since that 16.8, We see a slight pullback, late October, 16.1, another one for 13.2, and then another one for 11.5. If we change this to 3 months, well, it would be even worse. That's down 26%. That's a lot of money. That's a big percentage in a 90-day period. And it's actually a little bit worse than that, to be honest with you, because, again, this was measuring from before the all-time high on 3 months. We could do a custom and kill this 15.6, but if you measure from 16.8, it's probably more like 35% down just over the last 3 sales. Boom, 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 just that quick.
Yeah.
And this is kind of, not to get too Cajun-centric, Jeff, but this is kind of, I saw this coming, right?
Right.
And Jordan is not immune from this. Like, people think, oh, it's Michael Jordan cards. People are always going to want them. Yeah, I agree with that. If you ask me if I asked you this question, this Skybox Natural Born Thrillers, and I've been saying this over and over on video after video. If I asked you 2 months ago, would this card be worth more on Christmas Day than it is today? Like, let's say from October. I was always saying, no, I don't think it will. It's coming. It's either December or January. This is going to happen. The peak is going to peak, and we're going to start to see the downside of it. And there's going to be a buying opportunity if you're a grade snob, if you're a PSA 10 or bust kind of collector. But I want to always reiterate, because people are like, you're crazy. They're only more and more demand for Michael Jordan cards over time. The PSA 10s are only going to mean more and more. If you ask me right now, if this Natural Born Thrillers card that's on our screen is going to be worth more in 2030 than it is today, my answer would unequivocally be yes. I do believe it will be worth more. I just don't think it will be worth more in January. You know what I mean?
I'm not a huge stocks knower, but this kind of the Jordan market reminds me a little bit of like the tech stocks recently. Around like the pandemic, they were the hot ticket, right, to invest in.
Yep.
And they were, when the market dipped, they were the biggest faller. But now, if I'm not mistaken, because I've got some in it, they've been going back up with the market. So, to your point, they were probably overvalued, even the ones that everyone looks at and be like, oh, those will always go up. And yeah, sure, they're coming back, but they definitely had their dip.
Now, here's the one I don't see for some reason, but you've got it in here a bunch, but I don't know if it's not. Oh, no, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, this is where you must have cut off. I'm trying to figure out why. Because this is the card right here. I saw it a couple times. And again, we're gonna scroll through, but like 88.99 Fleer sticker, 58.80, 6,000, 76.50. I don't see the 76.50. I don't see the 76.50 in card ladder for some reason.
Yeah, I know we've ran into this before where alt, because I pull from alt.
Alt found it and card ladder didn't. Yep. Let me see. Maybe it's in sales history. Fleer sticker Jordan 3 PSA 10. Yeah, card ladder's not pulling it. There's a 7,057. Yeah, it's not pulling it. So again, you're pulling data from alt, just to be clear, and so there can be some incongruities, some inconsistencies between the two. But Jeff, we're looking at cards like these are all the cards that we love, right? And so so let's say we're looking at this, and I was a PSA 10 Michael Jordan collector and just decided to overhaul my entire collection, right? I'm still sort of in the process, but I've done some of the heavy lifting of moving out hundreds, literally actually thousands of cards that were in PSA 10. And I'm converting those into just significantly more rare Jordan cards that are almost never PSA 10s. Okay.
Right.
And I did that because I thought that the PSA 10 premium was just too great. Like we were seeing, Jeff, we're seeing stuff. This 89 Fleer sticker is going to be a great one. We were seeing the premium on a PSA 10 for this Fleer sticker, for instance, if it's a $7,000 PSA 10, it's a $260 PSA 9. That's 40x. That's 28x.
Well, now these stickers, though, I don't think like that. These stickers, as I have a post, and I think we went through it last time.
We did.
Are the absolute bottom of the gem rate. So
yes, look, there it is, 0.47.
The Creed, Branton, Fleer era, right, of quality control. So that's why. So not that's going to have the biggest gap.
Yeah, and it's funny that Card Ladder's sample is an old PSA 10 label, which is noticeably off center, left to right, which would never, ever, ever get a PSA 10 today. Have you noticed, I don't know how much buy raw grading stuff that you're doing. Have you noticed
that
PSA?
90% of my game. Yeah,
okay. Have you noticed PSAs even not just slower and not just more expensive, but even tighter on grades recently?
I don't know. I honestly haven't sent in a while. I slowly build a batch, and since I've been hearing that they're very slow and they're in I almost feel like when they're slow, they might be a little more grade snobby. I have no data to base that take on, but I know, those kind of like that when they closed their doors during the pandemic.
I feel like it's, well, I think you're nibbling around the right deal. I think that they have a tendency to scrutinize harder when they've got more than enough business, right? There's a couple of ways that they can throttle back the volume that's coming in, right? Well, there's 3 ways. One, they can close their doors, which they've done before, but I don't think they're going to do that. Number 2, they can increase the cost, and they've done that. Number 3, they can just announce shit's going to take forever. They've done that. And then the 4th way, sort of the unseen way, is they can just start hammering people. And I'll be honest with you, like if you crush people hard enough times for a long enough time, they'll stop sending shit in. They will wait it out and or just send it somewhere else. Although it seems like everything's going to PSA today. So there's really 4 ways, there might be more, that they can kind of, whether it's directly or indirectly, they can throttle back on the influx of cards that they don't have the manpower to freaking deal with, right? What are your thoughts on the most recent buyback scandal thingy? I don't do many hobby events, but let's just talk about that generally. You heard about that, where
I've heard somewhat, but yeah, I'm very, very much not really in the
me neither.
Yeah, the recent news, but I did hear, and to be honest, when eBay announced the you can go right to grading kind of a thing, that I never really considered that, just because, one, I don't think you would get, say you get a card that says it's near mint. If it comes back like a 6 or something, I don't think there's any guarantee that it'd be like, oh, you bought a card that was mispriced, but they're still going to charge you at the grade level of what you paid. And then, yeah, as far as that scandal thing, if someone, I've heard about that before, where people wonder if they got a bad grade because the grader might be, writing down the certain number and looking for it to buy to grade themselves. Yeah, I don't know.
You think it was a rogue thing? Okay, there's 3 options. Either they're doing it, it's pervasive, and it's a company-wide conspiracy scandal where they're giving people 9s, they're buying them back as 9s, and then they magically appear as 10s with the same cert number. I think that's preposterously unlikely. I am going to give PSA the benefit of the doubt that nobody on earth is that stupid. With tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of customers, somebody's going to notice it, a la what just happened, right? So I don't think that's a company-wide pervasive issue where they're buying back cards, changing the grades, and then reselling them at a higher price. That's absurd. That is a surefire way to sink your company.
People are suggesting that's at like a
rogue employee
level. Yeah, or rogue employee sounds about right? But at a company level, at any level, you're risking your entire business on that.
I just find that highly unlikely to make a few $100 that somebody, I just don't believe that. It's like a lot of the NBA conspiracy theories. It's not just Adam Silver. It's, there's 50 other smart people that would all have to be on the conspiracy. That's the problem with these conspiracy theorist gotcha accounts that are out there. And I don't follow any of them. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to name names. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it because they don't think a lot of shit through. And they like to accuse and then figure out the truth later. And they like to assume a lot of things. And I'm not naive. I know that there are nefarious activities going on in this hobby. But sometimes you have to, take it from the perspective of PSA, of a cost-benefit analysis. If this was an instruction from, the higher-ups at PSA to do this on occasion, they sure as shit, Jeff, would not be doing it on a card to make an extra $180 or $400 or something like that. I mean, it's just illogical. It's not true. It's not correct. Now, could it be a rogue employee that pulled a fast one? Yep, that could be it. And maybe PSA doesn't have enough oversight on its employees. But is there an innocuous explanation to this this situation that occurred? And just again, to be clear, someone submitted cards for grading to PSA, like all of us do. Now at PSA, they sometimes give you offers on your cards before they ship them back to you or before you put them in the vault. They will say, hey, we'll buy back this PSA 9 gold medallion Michael Jordan card for $150. Somebody took that offer, took the $150, and then I guess took a picture of the certification number on their slab. And then later down the road, a few days, weeks, months, I didn't pay attention. Later, they noticed the exact same certification number, but it was a PSA 10 on the PSA label, not a PSA 9. And so the immediate conclusion was somebody switched it from a 9 to a 10, sold it at a 9, bought it back at a 9, and then sold it to a third party as a 10. Now, I've heard that, I don't know. Is there an innocuous explanation for that? Could it have been just a simple mistake?
Gosh, yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know that much into it as far as it being the same
cert number.
That's wild.
So here's the deal. If PSA, I'm super excited to finally announce that the Cajun Cardboard brand is now an affiliate partner with Ship My Cards. Ship My Cards has deep roots in the sports card hobby and a comprehensive list of services from shipping and storage to grading, consignment, private sales, escrow services, and even the exclusive premium white glove delivery service for your highest of the high-end cards. When you check out on shipmycards.com, make sure to use the promo code Cajun123. They was going to do this if they, let's just say, worst case scenario, they're all out to get us, right? These conspiracy theorists. You're right, man. You're screaming at the thing. PSA's out to kill you. They're out to get you. They don't care about you. They're changing grades and they're stealing, right? Let's just say that's true, which is not true. But let's say it is. They would only do that on non-serial numbered or non-unique cards for sure, right? Cards where you couldn't tell if it was the same card that went from a 9 to a 10. And if they were going to do it, why wouldn't they just change the cert number? Why wouldn't they just add? Well, I mean, no one else would know, right? Why wouldn't they just change the cert number?
Right. And that's why that's why a rogue employee explanation probably makes sense, right?
I think so too.
Because he probably couldn't change the cert number. He probably, maybe he went in the back end and be like, oh, I mislabeled a card, right?
Yeah.
I graded it a 10, but it was a 9. I need to go fix that. Maybe that's like some loophole that they worked to be able to do that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if they're gonna, I know that sometimes card grades change late in the game. I've heard that card grades PSA's grade on your card can change very late in the game from one number to another as it goes to the next stage of review. I guess, to give them the benefit of the doubt, could it have been a deal where, they forgot to review it before they gave the offers out, right? But the other thing is I don't think they would have slapped the actual label on it and sealed the case and then gone back and reviewed it, right? So that doesn't really make sense either. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Jeff, is there another viable option to grade 90s Michael Jordan cards besides PSA? Can you grade your cards? Are you giving money away if you grade it with CGC? Yes or no?
I mean, if you're looking to sell it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. That's a yes. Are you giving money away if you're grading with SGC?
I imagine so. As SGC, I know some people really like them, but I feel like the whole design, it seems it was like for old baseball cards, right? It kind of looks like a portrait that you put on a wall.
Yep. Yuck. Don't like it.
Yeah.
What about BGS? What is
they
left
closed their
of
doors,
BGS?
didn't they?
Huh?
Didn't they close their doors for at least for a while?
Did they? Oh, I don't know. I don't pay attention to hobby.
I think I saw something a couple weeks ago that not fully, right? But I think they were getting too many cards for, I don't know. Who's sending that? Do they have 2 graders? I don't know how that works.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going on BGS. The only time I ever send a card to BGS is if PSA won't grade it. And no, PSA is not perfect. And I'm not sitting here blowing sunshine up people's ass. But again, PSA right now, if you're a reseller, if you're an investor and you're flipping, or you're just a long-term investor, or you just want to preserve the most value for your card, even though PSA is wildly inconsistent, like wildly inconsistent in my experience, it's still the only option. You just got to send it and pray. And I don't want it to be that way, but that's the way it is. And I also wish that there was some consistency between eras of when your card was graded. Cards graded, pre 2019 are just graded at a completely different, I don't care what anybody says, a completely different standard, a more lenient standard than they are today. And I have heard it's getting even more strict. I've heard it's getting more. Dude, I'm telling you, I was getting back orders with 85% PSA 10s in 2019. 85% PSA 10s. If I get an order back of 12% PSA 10s today, I'm happy. And again, I'm sending different stuff. I'm not sending, shiny, whatever.
Yeah, and like for me, I actually like going against the current here with, a lot of these cards that I look for raw, do like this never compromise down here. This is a super condition sensitive, any stadium club insert is. I look for a lot of cards like that to send, and I'm actually okay with getting an egg.
That's right. I do, dude. Jeff, I do the exact same thing. I do the same thing in the world of soccer as well. I like sending in the most exciting grade reveal, like emails that I get back from PSA are the ones where I don't have to get a 10. You know what I mean? Like if you're sending in 2023 Prism fill in the blank, you need a 10. If you're sending in a never compromise, you can pretty much rule out a 10, right? You and I have done this long enough to where we can look at it and be like, this is not coming back a 10. But I just want the card back in an 8, a 7, 8, or 9. A 9 would be a huge, it's like hitting a triple. Those are the most exciting grade reveal videos that I do, because the grade on every card matters. It's not just a 10 or a not a 10. It's 9, 8, 7. All of these are real grades. PMGs are the types of cards for that. Credentials, certain platinum medallions, gold medallions, even gold medallions. If you pull a PSA 9 on a relevant gold medallion, or really any Jordan refractor that's not green, Jeff, come back with a 9. That's a huge hit, man. I mean, that's great. You probably bought the raw for much less than a 9. How are you picking out which raw cards to buy on eBay? How do you get?
Thanks for asking. That's the most fun I have, actually. It's knowing the cards, really. Let's take that never compromise, for example. So this one, the front of it looks great, usually, when you find it. You turn that around and the back edging is chewed up on all 4 sides. And so I look for ones that have the least amount of that, to be able to say, hey, can I get an 8? And I'll look at past sales on Alt or wherever you go, and look at, the backs of PSA 8s and 9s, see what they look like for, recent grades. That one kind of a sad. Okay, I have a sad story on that never compromise. Recently, the members only parallel is super rare.
Ridiculous. Look at this.
Well, check it out. There was a raw that sold a couple weeks ago that I think
25 graded. What the hell, man?
So in my list of like the PSA 8s with the fewest graded higher, you can tell here that it was very high on that list. So let's see, it was at about 150 with a couple minutes left. I was ready to fire away at like in the 600s.
Sure.
I wasn't even the second highest. I think it went for like 7 something. But yeah, that would have been one that I would have loved to have sent in.
700 would be a huge win. I mean, a PSA 7.
Yeah, I think an 8 went for a couple grand or so, and it looked pretty nice. So yeah, one of those things where
2022.
One of those things where I wish I went even more, but
pushed harder.
At the time, you see it's at like $100 something. I knew for sure it was gonna, double at least, but to 700, But so sad story. I should have done that because this is the work that I put in to see that this is one of the rarest cards. It looks like it might grade an 8, and then you get so close. But hey, that's the game.
Yep. Wow, somebody sold a lot of Hoops USA cards.
Yeah, I decided to put all the individual sales in there just so people
So
can see,
rare,
oh, yeah,
so
this
rare
is.
that card.
Oh,
Yeah, the
another
no.
thing too about that never compromise. I'm just gonna keep talking this one up so I can never afford it or
Yeah,
never get one. But it's pop, just the normal one there is a pop 12 according to my data, and it fell from 58.80 to 40,000 bucks pretty much from a September to November sale. It's a pop 12 versus like the 98 Royal Court, which is also on there, is a pop 16, and it only dropped from like see 11,000 to 10,000. So but
I think
it's, you know,
where is it?
but
There.
it's a 10K. Yeah, that one. That's a 10K card now versus the Never Compromise is sitting at 4,800.
Yeah, you say that, but Jeff, what's the next one sell for? Like right now, if I said, "Hey Jeff, man, put your money on the line. You got to, we're betting over under. You're setting the line. Where are you setting the line? If the last one sold for 10,200 in November, if one of these was right now on Fanatics weekly auction ending, this Sunday, mid-December, is it going to sell for over or above or below 10,000?
I would guess below.
So
It's
would I.
trending that way.
So would I.
Yeah.
So right now, we're asking the question, and this is funny because we've been through a few of these cycles now, so we're OGs here. We've got at least a little bit of frame of reference, right? We've been through there was a bubble before the pandemic, by the way, people. Then there was, of course, the COVID bubble, and then now we just saw this. I'm not gonna call it a bubble. We'll just call it a peak, right? And we're talking specifically about these Jordan 90s
Well,
cards
summer
and high
spike
grade.
like COVID.
Yeah. So we've seen this kind of stuff before. So right now we're asking the question, or at least over the last 90 days, we've been asking the question, where is the peak? When will this peak? Because people are trying to time the market. They're trying to push their cards onto the open market at the peak, right? That's fine. That's what people do. In about 3 months, I'm going to say in February or March, the average Michael Jordan card collector is going to be asking the question, where is the bottom? Isn't it funny how quick things can change? And I say that, in fact, I know that's going to be the case. It's going to be sometime mid 2026. People are going to be asking, where does this stop? When do we hit the bottom? When does this start to settle? And when does it start to rise again? And the answer is going to be when the average public perception is that the card has dipped too far from what is apparently an October, November peak, and it's time to buy back in. I'm doing this, believe it or not, with Giannis Antetokounmpo rookie cards. I never thought I would buy back into Giannis Antetokounmpo cards, but then I see some of his best rookie cards in the world in PSA 10 are down like 70, 80% from peak. And I'm like, well, he's not Jordan. He'll never be Jordan. He'll never replicate Jordan. And yes, I always loved collecting Jordan cards, but like from a purely investment opportunity, there's no reason for this guy's cards to be down 85%. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, what is Steph Curry done?
Move? I heard probably pure speculation, but maybe the Spurs would get him, or did he resign? I'm not up to date on that.
He's injured with a apparent calf strain for the next 4 weeks. I don't know if anybody is going to, sell the farm to pull him into their franchise until they know he's going to be healthy. I think a betting man would say there's a 50% chance he gets traded before the trade deadline. He's made the Bucks very, very aware it's time. We're done. Right. And the Bucks are on the same page. Now the Bucks are going to have to shop him, but they're shopping him discreetly now. But I assume it'll heat up as we get closer to the trade deadline. But a betting man would say there's a 100% chance he's not on the Bucks next year. Let's say 99% chance he's not a Buck next year. 50% chance he gets traded at the deadline. 50% chance it's not until the summer. But yeah, he's got a couple years left on his contract, I believe, maybe one full year after this year, and then one more year. And so the teams that are in the market for Giannis are teams that have to be ready to win now with the addition of Giannis, because he's not going to go to the Wizards. He's not going to go to the fill in the blank shitty teams, the Hornets or whatever. So Giannis is not going to go for that. And they're going to comply with Giannis's wishes. And it needs to be a team that's ready. They need to be ready to win now, and they need to be ready to give the Bucks assets, because the Bucks will never get a free agent. as long as they're a franchise, because nobody wants to go, no offense to Milwaukee, but nobody, no elite NBA basketball player wants to go play in Milwaukee.
That's okay. My Bulls don't either. The Reinsdorf ain't never doing anything.
Your team's in purgatory, and it's been in purgatory for 7-8 years. They're gonna, they again.
Look, we started off hot, and we're right back where we belong in the play-in
it's all
contention.
Yeah. That's all gonna they're gonna be in the 9 to 11 range. It doesn't matter what you do. Like the talent level there is such that they will not be the worst team in the league, and they will definitely not be in the top half of the East. Probably they'll probably be in the 9 to 11 range, because they are every single freaking year. It's a running joke.
Yeah.
Which is the worst place to be in the NBA, because you're never gonna get the Wembanyama pick. You're never gonna get the Darren Peterson. You're not gonna get those guys. You're not gonna get those picks. So doomed to be mediocre for eternity, unless the Reinsdorfs decide to hit the tank button the real way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
I just looked. So my next post coming up next week, I do have all the November high sales, and I put like gem rates in it as well as pop count, so people could see that.
Is it in here now, or no? We're not there.
No, it'll be next week. It's scheduled, okay. And then it does. I finish up that PSA 8. How many graded higher project too? So
let's look at this, because this is in an era, in a time where over the next few months, you and I both concur, and we've already seen the beginnings of it. The PSA 10 prices, no matter how rare they are, no matter how low the pop is, are going to probably dip a little bit, right? We're going to go find a new saturation point, a new floor, and then they'll start to rise again, but it won't be anytime soon. First, we got to find the floor. That's going to be the big question people are asking over the next 90 to 120 days, I believe. Mm-hmm. If you still want to collect Jordan cards, if you still want to build your hierarchy, wouldn't it make sense to go look at the PSA 8s that don't have a premium? But when you look at the PSA 8s, let's look at the PSA 8s that have the fewest higher graded. Some 8s mean more than other 8s. And 1989 Fleer sticker PSA 8 don't mean shit. But it never compromised. It was only means $2,000. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at it. You did the data, you did all the work, and so let's look at some of those PSA 8s with a relatively few higher in what they've done and what the average sale is for the last 3. You got some really awesome stuff in here. By the way, Bound for Glory, I have a PSA 9 for sale. You're looking at a pop 30 with only 4 PSA 10s. So I've got a Bound for Glory PSA 9 for sale if anybody's interested. Nice. Right?
I will say the one thing, I do have to hop off here in a minute, but the one thing I wish I did for the last 3 sales is look at like the dates of it, because some of them are older than others. So definitely still, use this as a guide if you do subscribe and get the full list here to kind of investigate yourself. But this should really give you a tip as far as what cards, like that game jersey, I don't know, that one might be valuable.
might have some value regardless of grade.
But it's actually kind of funny seeing a card like that and then the cards around it that have similar graded higher. And obviously, that doesn't mean everything, but it could kind of tip off to, some value in some other cards.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here, man, for sure. The Tony's Pizza, yes. The Tony's Pizza.
Or maybe you could find try to trade for a cut above and try to tell someone, try to trade your 95 upper deck electric court. Be like, hey, it's got, similar graded higher. And then
similar.
But then they can tell you you're a jerk and then off.
Well, this cut above right here, ironically, I know for a fact, because I just put in a video on last Sunday, the BGS 8.5 broke an all-time record. So go figure that out. What the hell, man? 10's coming back. BGS 8.5 broke an all-time record. I don't know. We're in a really, really tenuous, volatile time period. You got a lot of things coinciding. You got a peak that we just saw. You've got the Christmas holidays, which is always throws a weird little wrinkle because you're going to see a lower volume of sales, usually units. I mean, I know. I mean, do you list cards for sale in auctions during December?
I think I have. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I've sold very consistently many thousands of dollars worth of cards with Fanatics Weekly for probably 16 consecutive weeks, all Jordan stuff. And I decided I'm going to hit the brakes. Last week was the first auction. I had none for sale. And I'm not going to put any more. I've got some on Buy It Now, though, which after you've got to take off, I'm going to let you go. And then I'm going to kind of show some of the cards some of the MJ cards that I have for sale. It's a great eye candy, Jeff. You should stick around, man. Some good stuff in here. So these are all for sale on Fanatics Buy Now or private sale if anybody wants to message me. I'm super excited to announce that BCW is an affiliate partner of the Cajun Cardboard brand. When you check out at BCW, use the promo code Cajun to receive 10% off of your order. It's gonna be some good stuff for sure. But I'll do that after you have to take off. I know you got
I'll take off here. Thanks so much, man. Let's keep doing this. I enjoy just chopping it up too. And showing, diving into the data that I'm looking at. If anyone's interested, just Google the Michael Jordan 623 project, and you should be able to find my Substack, which I know some people still don't know what that is. It's just a paid blog post. So, because I put a lot of work into this, trying to get a little bit back so that I can reinvest into my collection.
That's another thing. You don't need to apologize for charging people a price for the research that you put in. It's a lot of research. Listen, again, I'm not blowing smoke here. Like, knowing the PSA 8s that have the fewest higher graded, that's a weapon, man. That's a tool, and you can use that tool to make gobs of money if you're an investor in the Michael Jordan market, especially on stuff like this where you can scale so much. $178. The problem is finding a Tony's Pizza PSA 8. But if you do see one and you set up an eBay search and you see one come up and it sells for 180, you should probably snatch it. There's only 31 higher graded in the entire world. And that PSA 8 is very different, like I said, than a 86 Fleer PSA 8 or than a 89 sticker PSA 8 or a 1990 Fleer base PSA 8. It's just apples and oranges, and you've separated the apples from the oranges. For people, that's a lot of work, man. You need to be compensated for that stuff. And so I do think y'all should check it out. Another thing you didn't mention, but you can go on Instagram and type in Michael Jordan 623 project into the search button, and you're going to pull up Jeff. So if you have any questions about what's in or not in there, you're going to get answers. Jeff will respond right to you. He's real responsive. The other thing is, Jeff, we looked at number 17. So this is the 17th article. So if you do subscribe now, you're basically buying 17, past articles where you can go back, and a lot of that data, some of the data is stale, right? Obviously you can't, obviously it's not evergreen, but a lot of it's not stale.
It is, yeah.
Jeff, this shit right here, this list of PSA 8s with the fewest higher graded, this is going to be very relevant. This will be relevant for 10 years.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, there's evergreen stuff, and then hopefully stick around for, looking at trends in, sales volume, prices, all that stuff too, that obviously I'm doing. So
some of it's quick hitter stuff that gets old real fast. So you need to read the article, use it, apply it, attack while you're on the battlefield. And then some of it like this PSA 8 non-higher stuff, man, you just put that, you can print, I would print this out. I'd go get an eBay and I'd go save 70 eBay searches with these cards in there. And if a PSA 8 comes up, hell shit, man, maybe even PSA 7 on some of them, like we saw the members only and all that for the Never Compromise. I mean, plug it in and just save it there and use it as a tool and a weapon.
Should have been more. Oh, well, next one.
Yeah. There you go.
All
right, Jeff, thanks for joining, man. Y'all stick around. I'm going to show you all these cards that I have for sale, and maybe some of you guys will see something that you're interested in. Jeff, I'll send you a list of these.
All right, see you next time.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Bye. All right, like I said, I'm just going to scroll real quick through a bunch of cards that I have listed on Fanatics Buy Now. If you see a card and you're interested in one of these cards, just message me, reach out. This is part of my, Power of 23 Cajun consolidation project where I'm getting out of God, it's hard to look at these cards. Some of these cards mean so much, and I remember when I got them. But I'm moving out of these types of cards, exactly the types of cards on your screen, to buy the more rare stuff. And as Jeff said, and as we just talked about, maybe you're buying it, on the downside of the peak of the market. And so we've seen the peak. It's in the past. I'm not going to be looking probably to sell these for all-time record highs. So you're going to find a very agreeable Cajun Cardboard on the other end of any potential negotiation. I'm not giving them away because I'll gladly ride on these cards until 2030. But it's not worth, it's worth making an offer. The worst that can happen is, we agree to disagree. It's not going to get a deal done. But Metal Universe, PSA 10, Anticipation, PSA 10, these are all going to be hierarchy type cards, guys. Competitive Advantage BGS 9.5 Gem Plus. I mean, that is maybe the best bang for your buck in the hobby, because the 9.5s have not followed suit with this exorbitant PSA 10 premium. So the gold medallion in PSA 10, good Lord, that's one of his best looking cards in the world. I think it looks better than the platinum. Star Power Plus PSA 10, the middle child. Stadium Club Hardcourt Heroics. You guys know and recognize so many of these cards. They're all hierarchy cards. The gold SPX, just super rare. A lot of them are in BGS 9. We've got the 97 metal universe. Here's your 98 metal universe. Got a Intimidation Nation. Who knows what the PSA 10 sells for? I think that's the thing that, what did that do? What did the Intimidation Nation? I should know this stuff. What did that Jordan Intimidation Nation sell for? Let's go 1 year. That's what I thought. $84,000. What does Card Ladder think it's worth right now? $97,000. I'm not looking for $97,000. I would take $96,000 for an Intimidation Nation 9.5. Just kidding. But that's for sale. Some of these cards I didn't feel like putting up for auction in a 9.5. Here's one. This is a rare one, and people just, I don't even think a lot of people still know about it, but every time I see it, I try to talk about it. The precursor to the precious metal gem. This is the 1996 metal, precious metal, no gem, just metal, not numbered, not serial numbered, but rare, hard to find card, especially at a 9.5. Championship hardware is a big boy card. It's a tier 2 Jordan card. Starring Roll, PSA 10 just sold of that card. Legacies, affordable, beautiful refractor-like hollow foil Michael Jordan card in a 9.5, high voltage 9.5. Superstar 9.5, sort of a big card there. Min Gem, so you're getting your best bang for your buck. Upgrade, Michael Jordan Frequent Flyer Club upgrade. I'm not even sure why this has a video. Did I buy this in a premiere? Why does this have a video? That's weird. Anyway, there's your video with that was back when Adam was doing the videos for Fanatics. The original Beam Team. I've got a Beam Team members only. I can't remember if I sold the Beam Team members only. Another card. I never could find this card in a PSA 10. This would be a great one to look up. How many higher graded than the PSA 8 that you're looking at. But this one's got perfect color. That finest refractor, mystery finest refractor. Behind the glass 9.5 because the 10's $10,000 or something stupid. Refractor 9.5, good looking Jordan's first ever refractor. Scoring Kings Plus PSA 8, good luck finding a 10 of that. And then Entman's BGS 9.5 Min Gem, oversized card there. The first Maximum Metal PSA 10, the Molten Metal BGS 9.5, Team Leader PSA 10, 9.5 All Stars Gold. That's a gold on gold color match, label match. It's a great looking card right there. NBA gold sticker on this one, a BGS 9.5 mixed gem with a 10 for corners and an NBA gold. All these are for sale in the Fanatics Buy Now marketplace. You guys can go on there. You can't sort by Cajun Cardboard on there, but if you see a card on there and it looks like this type of card, it might be mine. I've got a lot. I mean, we're still scrolling and I don't even think we're halfway through, to be honest with you. The Tiffany, those super rare action pack promos. You talk about cards with fewer graded, between 8 and 10. That's definitely one of them. Here's a card. Listen to me. You just go, what's the pop? Pop's like 4, 5, 6, something like that. This is a card that I will not sell it unless it is for an all-time record. In fact, we can look it up. 95 Tops, 1995 Tops World Class PSA. PSA 10. Wonder when the last one sold. December 9th, 2024. That is Shaquille O'Neal. That's a pop 2. The last Jordan sold in June for $4,280. Card Ladder thinks it's worth $6,000. I don't think I would sell it for $6,000, but you're welcome to make an offer. This is just a big one. Even the 9 is worth $1,100. We've seen a lot of 9, 10 premiums of like 20, 15. This one's only 4. I don't know if I'm buying it. I probably need a little bit more than the all-time record on this card, to be quite honest with you. Just a really, really, really rare card. I think it was released. Don't quote me on this. You guys from down under that watch the channel, I love you guys. My Aussie audience is fantastic. You guys from Australia and New Zealand, I think this card was only released in packs in Australia and New Zealand. Please somebody buffer that. Correct me if I am wrong on that. And that's something that we can, you know what? It's my channel. We can go on tangents like this. Watch this. I think we can actually look this up. Topps World Class. Yeah, there you go. So inserted 1 in 18 packs. So it's 1 in 180 pack odds. And it was Series 2 International. These packs were only released in Australia and New Zealand. I knew I wasn't getting old. I knew I wasn't crazy. So that's pretty cool. It's a cool card right there. It's a rare PSA 10, a very difficult to find card. PSA 9, great color on that Jordan refractor. Illuminator 9, I've got both of them. I've got the T9B and the T1B. A Jordan hierarchy card, a lot of people tend to overlook. Good luck finding one of these in a PSA 10. 9 might be the next best thing. That was the Dunk Vision, a Triumvirate 9.5, just a base. We've got a Row 1 PSA 10. That's a base card, but damn, does that look like a base card to you? Not to me. Tough one here. Never got the 10. The Hollow Jam, just really low pop PSA 10 right there. 88 Fleer All-Star PSA 10 with really good centering. That's really what you're looking for on those. Big profiles. This is serial number to 100. This one was so close to making it into my keep forever collection, and I still may change my mind. This would take a really, really aggressive offer to fall out of my collection. The 9.5 Arena Stars. God, I forgot how many really good cards I still have for sale. Gravity Denied in 9.5 with 2 10s, 2 10 subgrades. That's a big one right there. I just forgot how many great MJ cards I did not move into the Fanatics weekly auction for one reason or another. The first Michael Jordan Skybox Premium Rubies, not the Star Rubies. So this is not serial numbered, but you guys know you can always tell it's a Rubies because the red foil on Pointman and the red foil down here, the card number 247. No serial numbering on the back like a Star Rubies, right? There's only 3 Star Rubies, but this is the precursor. Atomic Refractor 10. Only 12 atomic refractors, PSA 10. I do have the members only still. Okay, so if you guys are looking to pick up the Beam Team PSA 10 and the Beam Team PSA 10 members only, both for sale. You can pick them up in a package deal, and I will work with you on a lot of those. Noise Boys, guys, big cards. Tier 2 stuff, man. Thrill Seekers 9.5, all in high grade. One I'm really excited about, right? The Finest Refractors, BGS 9.5. I forgot what the 10 sold for that card. I'm not going to look it up because we've digressed enough. Hot Shots. I mean, it's just a who's who of Michael Jordan cards and actually a real big man on court 9.5. Interlake. We saw the Entmans, the Interlake. I kind of keep those two kind of in the same category, those oversized early 80s Jordan cards. I still got the test issue refractor, PSA 8. So still got that one for sale right there. We were talking about that in my high-end Jordan group chat the other day. Another Atomic PSA 10, very low pop. This card here, 96, and I mean perfect coloring, guys. You can go, you can look. I can click in here. We can get as nasty in here as you want to. I mean, coloring is exceptional on this Michael Jordan Atomic Refractor number 124. I'm gonna look that up real quick because I am just curious. PSA 10 Atomic 124. Jordan 1996. There we go. Close enough. The PSA 10 sold for $17,000. That was the all-time high, and it was the most recent sale. $17,359. You're talking about a Pop 16 Jordan Atomic Refractor opportunity there. I don't know if I should keep going through all of these or not. Honor Roll Refractor, Jordan on the front, Olajuwon on the back with good color. Full Court Trap Gold, BGS 9.5. So just kind of sharing these. I'm going to start flipping quickly because if you guys are interested in any of these cards, you're going to instantly recognize them. There's that Never Compromise that Jeff and I just talked about. There's the Triumvirate, just a base 9.5 from the T9B. Creator, serial number 263 refractor. Then I've got this whole set in here. Those are, again, these are niche city, but it's the whole set in PSA 9. I hope they're in order. They're not in order. Okay. Quick Strike 9. It was the best I could ever get. No flex, right? You're always looking for not missing the foil, right? No missing foil on this. This is a clean PSA 9. No missing foil spots, which is always the problem with those. Exclamation point, Jim. First day issue, Jim. Top Flight, Jim. Front back mystery refractor, not Kobe, but MJ. MJ on the back. Probably need to re-slab that if you want to put MJ on the front. Ask PSA to fix their mistake. And there's the other Illuminator. So you've seen both Jordan Triumvirate Illuminators in PSA 9. This one's rare. It's a PSA 6. It's just a hard card, and I love the fact they slabbed it open, right? Open face like that in that oversized slab. Rare card here. Pick this up in a collection that I bought. It's a PSA 1. How about that? Portrait from Chicles Metallicus. Go look at the pop on this card. Pretty rare card indeed. Hot Prospects. That's a Wizards base card in here. Another Wizards base card. Another Wizards card, but this is a patch, jersey patch card. Another dual jersey patch Wizards card. Don't ask me. These came in collections. Tough Stuff PSA 10. Tough to find, man. Another card that is going to be included in the Jordan supplemental hierarchy when I do finally decide to release that. Another Chicle card, or no, this is Los Aces de la NBA Spanish sticker, authentic altered for sale. All the triumvirates. So I've got every single triumvirate in here. The Luminous, the Luminescent. I don't have the members only, I don't think. Electrocourt Gold PSA 10. Pop 11. Big boy card right there. A lot of these cards, big boy cards, man. All for sale. The Move Refractor, one of Jordan's really recognizable 2002 Topps Chrome Refractor. Got a couple other ones in there, Coast to Coast and some others. And Mystery Borderless Gold 9.5. I'm still clicking, man. PSA 8 International Triple Double. I think I have a deal done in principle for this card at the all-time high. I will, by the time you watch this, if you message me, I'll probably tell you this one's sold. Sounded like somebody messaged me. Another cool thing about the Fanatics Buy Now marketplace is like people can message you, like really message you, and you can get into deep discussions, just like on eBay Buy Now, I guess. But it just seems like it's an easier interface, and I get notifications on my phone. Hey, somebody just sent you a message. They're interested in the card. They may send you an offer. They may just send you a message. A lot of deals get worked out on Instagram that way, to be honest with you. Star Surge level 1. This is serial number to 100. This is a pop 12, none higher. There's your Wild level 1, serial number to 100, pop 9, none higher. So if you're really looking to pick up the big, expensive tier 4 stuff in the Jordan hierarchy, those are two of them. Inside Outside PSA 10 for sale. Super Boss BGS 9.5. I just could never get my hands on the 10. It was just too damn expensive, to be quite honest with you. So I went with the 9. Platinum Medallion PSA 10. Vividly remember picking this up at the last National up in Rosemont. It's a pop 10. When I saw it, I knew I had to have it. The guy that sold it to me said he watched the channel. He knew who I was, and we got a deal done. It was my last purchase of the Rosemont National, if I recall. Home Court Advantage Plus and a PSA 8. Y'all are laughing, but that's a hard card to find. This is a card. I just want to show you the pop report on this card real quick, and then we'll scroll through the rest of them. Hard courts. Home, let's just put Advantage in here. Let's put 500. Let's put Jordan. Let's put PSA. All right, here we go. What's the highest sale of this ever? A PSA 9 sold for $3,300 this fall, a couple months ago. Okay, just curious. There you go. 93 of the 500 have been graded. My 8 is right here. It's a pop 16 with 13 higher. Yeah, just not a lot of those out there. You would think there'd be more considering they're printed to 500, but what did we say? Less than 100 of these things graded. What did we say? Where did I go? Where am I? There I am. What did we say? How many? 98? 93 of these of the 500 have been graded. Wow, that's crazy. We're just scrolling through cards. Oh, that's it. That's the last one. Okay, the SP Hollow Views die cut at the top, quad gem. So that's it, guys. A bunch of cards. I can't remember how many. I think it's 96, something like that. All that stuff that we just looked at, all that stuff is for sale. I am here. I'm open for business. I am simply looking to turn this into money to go buy more tier 1 Michael Jordan cards. There's no shame in my game. I'm as transparent and open as it gets. I'm working through some soccer sets. I'm working through some non-sports card sets. I know that sounds crazy. I'll reveal that at some point in the near future. It's probably not the kind of crap that is going to resonate on this channel since so many of y'all are basketball-centric collectors, but I'm buying into Giannis a little bit more. I'm almost probably at the end of my Giannis reinvestment. I'm going to do a video on that in the near future. I'm dabbling in a little bit of Reed Shepherd. Just he's a Kentucky guy. You know, I'm from Kentucky. He went to Kentucky. I watched his dad play at Kentucky, you know, for those great Kentucky teams in the past. And so I'm buying a little bit of Reed Shepherd. I'm buying some Auroras. I like Court King Aurora, so I'm dabbling in that. I'm really having fun right now, just to be honest with you guys, just like buying some of the stuff that I put off for so long because I was so hyper focused on Jordan. And it's not that I'm done with Jordan. It's just that I'm kind of funneling my money into the really, really big Jordan stuff. You're about to see a mail day video of a big tier 1 Jordan card. I released it. I published it on Instagram. So some of you already may know. But you'll see it in the future mail day video as well. And you'll see some of the fun stuff that I just mentioned that I'm buying in a mail day video. Some Yana stuff, some Reed Shepherd stuff, some Aurora Court King stuff, some really cool, some interesting stuff, some variety for those of you who get sick of me constantly talking about Jordan stuff. That's it, though. That's the end of this video, guys. Thanks, Jeff, for coming on the channel. He had to go do some kid stuff. But Jeff does a really good job with that Substack. It's really cheap. I can't remember what the price is. I don't even know what the price is. But I paid it and I've got a subscription and it's real simple. I just wait and I get an email saying, hey, you got a new Substack episode from Jeff, Michael Jordan 623 project. I click on it. I read it. I get a little bit smarter. I get a little bit better at what it is I do. I maneuver a little bit stronger with a little bit more strength when I'm maneuvering in the Michael Jordan card market. And some of the stuff really is going to be useful tool for many years to come. Some of it is instant, like you need to know now, like what PSA 10s were up and down over the last, 60 days. That's important. And I think you shed light on some of the stuff that I've been talking about lately. I've been trying to warn people for better or worse. If the truth is good, I tell it. If the truth is bad, I tell it, even if it's bad for me. I saw the peak coming. I knew the peak was coming. I knew we were going to start to settle a little bit and come back to the pack a little bit on some of these Michael Jordan cards. Some of the cards that I'm showing you in this vault that I have for sale, same kind of deal. And I just ran out of time. I just, I couldn't put 300 cards in one Fanatics weekly auction. I just didn't think that made any sense. So I did a lot of damage, sold a lot of cards for all-time record prices. I actually kept track of that in a spreadsheet over here because I got to pay taxes and all that crap. But, it might be time. You're on the downside of the peak, so at least you're not buying at the peak right now. I think we can all conclusively say that. If you don't believe that we've seen the best of the recent Jordan card market, again, I'm not saying the cards are never going to go back over those numbers. I'm not saying it's the forever peak. It's just the current peak until we get to the next one, right? Maybe it's a year, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think if I had to guess, I'd say it's 3 or 4 years away. Personally, that's just me. I don't know. I'm not Cajun Stradamus. I don't know that for sure, but that's just my guess, right? Everybody's got a guess. Might not be a bad time to buy. This is what I did post 2021 as Jordan cards started to come back and settle. I bought, and it paid off over the last 90 days. And I got to grow my collection and add cards to my collection that I never thought I would have. And so there's something to be said for being stubborn, steadfast, diligent, and patient, and buying through a dip. Buy the dip, they say, right? They've been saying that forever. That's it, guys. Go check out the Substack for Jeff. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Certainly message me on Instagram, Cajun_cardboard. If you want to reach out to me about any of those cards that I just showed you, they're all on Fanatics Buy Now. You can go on there and buy them or offer, or you just message me. Yeah, either way, I don't care. We can work a deal out if you're interested in any of those cards. It's some really good stuff, and it's parting is such sweet sorrow, I think Shakespeare said. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby.